Have you thought about writing an op-ed in the Times asking him to step down? Because it worked once. Why not try it again?
Yeah. He was a big fan of mine.
Welcome back to our channel. George Clooney, a dazzling Hollywood star, a man admired by all who look his way. To many, Clooney embodies elegance and strength, a living symbol of fame and success. But there is another side to George Clooney, one that isn't under the stage lights, but rather a man who quietly bends down to lift up those in despair. And perhaps no one would have expected that, on what seemed like an ordinary morning at a small cafe, Clooney would find himself in an unbelievable situation. He simply wanted to stop by for an espresso to wake up, but instead, what he overheard made him freeze, stunned, as if he'd suddenly walked into a dramatic film scene, where he was the lead without even realizing it. Behind him, the hushed voices of two young boys drifted. "We have to do it today. If we don't, Mom won't make it." What was it that left Clooney standing still in that cafe? And what kind of situation were those two boys facing that led them to make such a plan? Subscribe to the channel now and join us as we uncover this gripping story that reveals a whole new side to George Clooney, a Hollywood star with the heart of an everyday hero. The cafe encounter. That morning, George Clooney simply wanted a moment of peace at a small cafe in Beverly Hills, a place where the soft lighting and the sweet aroma of freshly ground coffee filled the air. A strong espresso would perhaps offer a moment of clarity amidst the busyness of life. But unexpectedly, in that serene spot, a fateful encounter would completely change his morning. As he entered the cafe, Clooney immediately felt the warm atmosphere, infused with the scent of coffee and the quiet hum of patrons. Only a few people were there, each enjoying their coffee, entirely unaware that the unassuming man among them was a famous Hollywood star. He offered a gentle smile to the young barista, who looked slightly flustered upon recognizing him, and ordered a rich espresso. After paying, Clooney chose a quiet corner to savor a rare moment unbothered by the spotlight. But in that moment of peace, he heard something unusual behind him: the whispered voices of two boys sitting near the window. At first, he didn't pay much attention, but as fragmented words started reaching his ears, he found himself leaning in to listen more closely. One of the boys whispered, his voice filled with worry. "We have to do it today. If we don't, Mom won't make it." Clooney froze, his heart beginning to race. The other boy, likely the younger brother, replied in a shaky voice, "But what if we get caught? Things will get worse." His tone trembled as though terrified of something dreadful. Those words hit him like a shock. Clooney could hardly believe what he was hearing. He turned subtly, trying to keep a natural expression so the boys wouldn't notice he was listening. Through their furtive glances and anxious expressions, he saw two children, perhaps only 13 or 14, bearing a heavy burden, the kind of fear and despair that left no way out. The whispers continued, each word striking him deeply. "It's just taking a little money from the counter. No one will know. We need the money for medicine. We don't have any other way." Clooney's heart tightened with sadness as he realized these boys were ready to risk everything just to save their mother. This wasn't a prank or mischief, but rather a sign of desperation and a severe lack of options. His instinct told him he couldn't stand idly by. When the barista brought his espresso, he barely noticed, his mind entirely focused on the two distressed boys. Clooney thought quickly. He knew if he approached too suddenly, the boys might panic and do something reckless. He quietly went back to the counter, gently asking the barista to add a few sandwiches to his order, then made his way to the boys' table. He offered a friendly smile, trying to appear as natural as possible. "Hey there! I accidentally bought a few extra sandwiches. Would you mind helping me eat them?" he said, holding up the bag with a warm, sincere tone. The boys looked up, surprised, their faces paling as they realized who was in front of them. George Clooney. But beneath their astonished expressions remained an unease, a readiness to flee at any moment. Clooney slowly sat down, his gaze soft, yet steady. He didn't rush to ask questions, but allowed them to feel safe in his presence. After a while, he gently broke the silence, taking care not to make the conversation too intense. "I overheard a bit of your conversation. It seems like you're going through something tough. If you'd like, you can tell me about it." The boys gradually relaxed, their eyes a mix of sorrow and hesitation. After a few moments of silence, they shared their story. They spoke of their mother, a woman seriously ill and in urgent need of medicine, yet they didn't have enough money. In their desperation, they had come up with a bold but dangerous plan to steal money from the café counter to help their mother. Their story stirred a deep, unnameable sorrow within Clooney. He placed a hand on the older boy's shoulder, his gaze steady and filled with empathy as he spoke with a voice both gentle and resolute. "You don't have to do this. I'll help you get the medicine for your mom. Just promise me you'll never consider this path again." His words were like a ray of hope, lighting up their faces as the burden they carried seemed to dissolve. In that moment, Clooney knew he had done the right thing, his heart at peace as he watched the boys' grateful smiles. And that's how George Clooney, known for his unforgettable roles on screen, became a real-life hero for two young boys, through kindness, sensitivity, and a heart willing to help strangers in their darkest hour. George Clooney's social and humanitarian work. George Clooney is not only renowned for his talent and style on screen, but also as a passionate humanitarian in real life. Clooney's charitable work began in the early 2000s, when he used his fame to draw attention to humanitarian crises, particularly in war-torn regions. One of Clooney's earliest prominent initiatives was co-founding the organization Not On Our Watch, with other famous actors like Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Don Cheadle. This organization was created to prevent genocide and support victims of humanitarian crises around the world, with a primary focus on stopping the genocide in Darfur, a region in western Sudan. Clooney personally traveled to Darfur to witness firsthand the suffering endured by its people. He met individuals who had lost their families and heard harrowing stories of villages destroyed. These images left a lasting impression on Clooney, spurring him to take further action. Clooney's efforts went beyond fundraising. He was also an outspoken political advocate. He addressed the U.S. Congress and the United Nations, calling for sanctions against the Sudanese government and armed groups responsible for the horrific violence. Clooney didn't just want people to talk about Darfur. He sought real change and concrete actions to end the suffering. In 2010, Clooney launched the Satellite Sentinel Project, a bold and innovative initiative that monitors and documents human rights violations in Sudan and South Sudan through satellite imagery. SSP tracks military activities, burned villages, and displaced populations. These images, provided by the Digital Globe Company, act as a watchful eye in the sky, undeniable evidence of the atrocities occurring. Clooney calls SSP the best use of my fame, as he believes that celebrities can and should make a real difference. These images forced the international community to confront the truth, and many people voiced demands for the Sudanese government to uphold peace commitments. Beyond supporting conflict zones, Clooney and his wife, Amal Clooney, a renowned human rights attorney, have also worked to support refugees. Since 2016, through the Clooney Foundation for Justice, the couple has partnered with the International Rescue Committee to assist refugee children in Lebanon. Millions of Syrians have been forced to leave their homes due to civil war, with many families seeking shelter in Lebanon under harsh, difficult conditions. Clooney and Amal have funded schools and improved educational programs, giving children the opportunity to learn and hope for a better future. Clooney once said, "These children have experienced the worst, and they need to know the world hasn't turned its back on them." CFJ is also known for its Trial Watch program, an initiative that monitors trials worldwide to identify and expose unfair trials. In many countries, journalists, activists, and dissidents are often detained and unfairly tried for speaking out against their governments. Through Trial Watch, Clooney and Amal work to attract international attention, creating pressure for fairer and more transparent legal systems. The couple is also actively involved in supporting the Yazidi community, a religious minority group that suffered genocide and terrible oppression under ISIS. Amal Clooney, as an attorney, has represented Yazidi women in international courts, seeking to prosecute ISIS members responsible for unimaginable atrocities. Together, they have donated millions of dollars to help rebuild the Yazidi community, support victims' recovery, and pursue justice. Clooney's humanitarian contributions have earned him numerous prestigious awards. In 2010, he received the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award, honoring individuals who have made outstanding contributions to social justice. In 2018, the American Film Institute, AFI, also honored him, not only for his artistic achievements, but for his humanitarian spirit. George Clooney has shown that fame is not just about the spotlight or shiny awards. For Clooney, fame is a tool, a power he uses to fight for justice, protect vulnerable people, and create a brighter future for those in need. As Clooney once said, "If you're in a position where people are willing to listen to you, say something worth saying." And perhaps he is the living proof of that statement, a star with a heart that cares for others. George Clooney's career journey. George Clooney, one of Hollywood's most outstanding and versatile stars, has built a career filled not only with success, but with deep significance. From his early days in the industry to becoming a global film icon, Clooney has shown that true talent and perseverance can take one far. But Clooney is more than just a movie star. He embodies artistry, resilience, and a humanitarian spirit. Born into a family with a famous journalist father, Nick Clooney, and a former beauty queen mother, George grew up surrounded by art and media. However, his path to success was far from easy. In the early years of his career, Clooney struggled to make ends meet and took on small roles in various films and television shows. He appeared in a string of shows like The Facts of Life and Roseanne, but none of these roles quite had the breakthrough he needed. During this time, Clooney experienced pressure, setbacks, and doubts about his own abilities. It wasn't until 1994 that George Clooney truly stood out with his role as Dr. Doug Ross in the popular TV series ER. The show was not only a major success, but also turned Clooney into a beloved and admired face, with his portrayal of Dr. Doug Ross. Clooney made a lasting impression as a strong, charismatic, and compassionate man. This role brought him numerous award nominations and, most importantly, recognition from both audiences and critics alike. After ER, Clooney transitioned to the big screen, steadily establishing himself through a wide range of films. A significant milestone in Clooney's film career was his role in From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. A horror action film written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by Robert Rodriguez. From there, Clooney began to shape his image as a movie star with a strong, captivating, and dynamic style. By 2001, Clooney achieved tremendous success with his lead role in Ocean's 11, where he played Danny Ocean, a master thief with charm and style. The film was not only a box office hit, but also became a classic, launching an entire blockbuster series. The role of Danny Ocean helped Clooney solidify his suave, sophisticated, yet cunning image, turning him into a Hollywood-style icon. George Clooney didn't stop at acting. He also proved his talent as a director and producer. He directed several notable films such as Good Night and Good Luck, 2005, The Ides of March, 2011, and Suburbicon, 2017. The film Good Night and Good Luck, a black-and-white piece about journalist Edward R. Murrow's battle with Senator Joseph McCarthy, earned Clooney critical acclaim and an Oscar nomination for Best Director. Clooney has shown himself not only as a talented actor, but also as a passionate and creative filmmaker who consistently chooses projects with depth, reflecting pressing social issues. Through his films, Clooney conveys powerful messages about press freedom, social justice, and the courage to fight for the truth. With his talent and unwavering dedication, George Clooney has received numerous prestigious awards. He has won 2 Academy Awards, one for Best Supporting Actor in Syriana, 2005, and another as a producer for Argo, 2012. These awards are not only a testament to his acting skills, but also evidence of his commitment to the art of filmmaking. He has also been honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Film Institute, recognizing his relentless contributions to global cinema. Today, George Clooney is not only a cultural icon, but a powerful advocate for human rights and social justice. Successful on screen, Clooney has played a significant role in numerous organizations and charitable activities, using his voice to advocate for the disadvantaged, the overlooked, and marginalized communities. George Clooney's career journey is a testament to perseverance, passion, and wholehearted dedication. From an unknown actor, he rose to become a star, a filmmaker, and a defender of justice. Clooney has devoted his life not only to contributing to the arts, but to creating positive change in the world. He is a vivid example of how fame can be used to spread kindness, and for George Clooney, that journey continues. Personal life. George Clooney is not only celebrated for his roles and cinematic achievements, but also for his personal life, which has long been in the public eye. At the peak of his fame, Clooney was considered one of Hollywood's most charming and eligible bachelors. His romantic life was constantly under media scrutiny, especially after he declared he would remain single forever following his first marriage to actress Talia Balsam, which ended in 1993. Clooney embraced a free-spirited lifestyle, enjoying brief relationships with famous women, but seemingly finding no motivation to remarry. Everything changed in 2013 when Clooney met Amal Alamuddin, a renowned British-Lebanese human rights lawyer with keen intellect and confident grace. Amal was unlike any woman Clooney had ever dated. She was not only a successful attorney, but also a woman passionately committed to justice and human rights, willing to tackle complex cases to defend the oppressed. Meeting Amal shifted Clooney's entire perspective on marriage. After just a year of dating, Clooney decided to propose to Amal, something he himself likely thought would never happen. Their wedding took place in September 2014 in Venice, Italy, in a romantic, elegant setting. This event captured the attention of the global media, not only because of Clooney's fame, but also out of admiration for Amal, a strong and accomplished woman who had won the heart of Hollywood's eternal bachelor. Following their marriage, Clooney and Amal continued their busy yet meaningful lives. In 2017, they welcomed twins, Alexander and Ella, marking a new chapter in Clooney's personal life. Becoming a father at 56, Clooney shared that it was a completely different and challenging experience, yet a happiness beyond compare. He dedicated more time to his family, cherishing meaningful moments with his wife and children, while striving to balance work with personal life. Clooney and Amal often appear together at charity events and international conferences where they use their influence to advocate for human rights issues. Amal, with her legal career, and Clooney as a Hollywood star, have become a powerful couple not only in entertainment, but also in social activism. Together, they tirelessly dedicate their time and resources to supporting charitable organizations and community initiatives. Despite his vast wealth and status as one of Hollywood's biggest stars, George Clooney maintains a humble and down-to-earth lifestyle. He often shares that he enjoys spending time with close friends, particularly his Rat Pack, a group of friends who have been by his side since his days of obscurity. These relationships have been a stable foundation that has kept him grounded amid the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. One famous story about Clooney is that in 2013, he secretly gifted $1 million to each of his 14 closest friends, those who had supported him back when he was an unknown actor. This gesture not only demonstrated Clooney's gratitude, but also reflected his generous spirit and appreciation for the genuine relationships in his life. Beyond film and charity, Clooney has other passions, particularly his involvement in the tequila business. In 2013, along with his friends Randa Gerber and Mike Meldman, Clooney co-founded the tequila brand Casamigos. Initially, they created Casamigos just to share with friends and family, but the brand quickly gained popularity and achieved tremendous success. By 2017, they sold Casamigos to Diageo for up to $1 billion, yet Clooney has continued his love for the product and uses the profits to support various charitable activities. Today, George Clooney is often seen as a devoted husband, father, and philanthropist. His life no longer revolves around glamorous parties or fleeting romances. Instead, it centers on dedication and love for his family and those around him. He frequently shares the joy he finds in raising 2 children with Amal, savoring peaceful, meaningful moments with his family. Clooney has shared that his life philosophy is to live in a way that spreads kindness and supports those in need. For him, the true meaning of life does not lie in success or wealth, but in how we help others and leave a positive mark on the world. George Clooney is not only an iconic movie star, but also a symbol of commitment, compassion, and a life devoted to both art and community. From a passionate young man with dreams in Hollywood to a mature, grounded individual with a happy family life, George Clooney has journeyed through a life filled with ups and downs, yet one rich with meaning. He has shown that fame and fortune can be used to make a difference, not only in one's own life, but in the lives of millions around the world. George Clooney has left an indelible mark, not only on screen, but also in the hearts of the public, through his genuine compassion and humanitarian spirit. His journey from a struggling young actor to an A-list star and social activist conveys a profound message. Fame truly matters when it's used to create something good. Throughout his career, Clooney has sought to enrich not only himself, but the lives of others. From using satellite imagery to monitor human rights in Sudan, to supporting Syrian refugees by building schools for children and spearheading international charitable initiatives, Clooney has continually dedicated himself to causes far greater than Hollywood's glitz and glamour. He has used his fame not only to raise public awareness, but also to inspire compassion and a sense of unity within each of us. George Clooney once said, "If you're in a position where people will listen to you, then say something worth saying." This statement is more than just a life philosophy. It is the guiding principle of his career and life. For Clooney, the focus is not on praise or admiration, but on how he can spread messages that uplift and inspire positive values within the community. What do you think of George Clooney's contributions? A Hollywood star who shines not only on screen, but also leaves a lasting impact through his humanitarian efforts? Do you admire the way he uses his fame to help the vulnerable and inspire others? Leave a comment with 1 to share your admiration for George Clooney, a real-life hero behind the spotlight. And if you're interested in more stories like this, don't forget to follow our channel to discover more about other famous individuals and their journeys of kindness. See you in our next videos.